Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some Adamancipator Magnet Warrior test hands. I'm really excited to do this because this was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Awalt, and it is an absolutely crazy cool suggestion to actually mix two really good rock decks together, because Adamancipators can be splashed with just about any rock deck in the entire game, but Magnet Warriors is actually one I haven't done yet. I've done Fossils on the channel, I've done Quakimeru, and finally now we're doing Magnet Warriors, because Magnet Warriors are a really awesome, powerful deck. They can even summon out the awesome, powerful Imperium Magnum, the superconductive BattleBot, and the old school, awesome Valkyrian, the Magnet Warrior, with the proper setup. So, without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, just like AWOL did, for all those awesome rewards like getting your name in the description every single video, getting a signed card to mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month from Patreon, along with test stands. So, without further ado, definitely give AWOL some love down in the comments down below for suggesting this awesome, crazy cool deck, and we're gonna get straight on into this one. So this is a really awesome deck. I will say a lot of it is luck based because it depends on what you actually reveal and excavate off your copies of your Adamancipators. Usually if you open up two of the Adamancipator monsters between Seeker, Analyzer, and Researcher, you're usually going to be fine, which is what's really cool about this deck. It's very easy to be able to combo off, and with being able to put your Magnet Warriors on the field and in the graveyard, it just is a awesome deck. It's like working with ABCs a little bit with how easy it is to actually summon out your copy of your Berserkion, and this is a deck that I've actually been playing around with a lot ever since Awalt suggested this one, because it is just such a fun deck, because you never know what kind of combo you're going to be able to pull off, and it's really awesome. Like, it just can really make some really fun plays and can really pull off some insane combos. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do for our first test hand. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Quakimeru Guardian, a copy of Gamma, which is really powerful to actually draw into Gamma because this card can actually special summon an additional monster out of your hand that's a Magnet Warrior. We're then going to draw into a copy of Seeker, a copy of Analyzer, and a copy of Magnet Induction. So this is a very good opening hand because you have a lot of different plays and a lot of special summons that you can actually do. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Analyzer. I will say going second, this would be a little bit better because this card could actually special summon itself out to your side of the field, and then you can actually special summon out the copy of Seeker. Because Seeker is, if you control an Adamancipator monster, then you can special summon this card from your hand, but this one is kind of like a Cyber Dragon. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it from your hand. So we normal summon this, we're going to special summon out the copy of Seeker to our side of the field, and we're going to go ahead and use their effects. So we're going to go ahead and use the copy of our Analyzer, and a lot of this is counting cards. You have to see what you're revealing and what you're actually going to special summon so you can know what you haven't revealed yet and count the cards, because we know we have 35 cards in this deck, so we're going to reveal 10 of them off of both these effects. You can't special summon tuners off of these. That is important to keep in mind, and as long as we get into at least a level 4, we should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and start revealing into a Delta, the Magnet Warrior, a copy of Alpha, the Electromagnetic Warrior, a copy of Doki Doki, a copy of Researcher, and a copy of Magnet Induction. So the Delta is probably what I would immediately grab and put on my side of the field, because it's going to help me out a lot, and you're going to kind of like take that counting the cards out of your mind once you do this, because you're actually going to use that copy of Delta on your side of the field to send from your deck to the graveyard a Magnet Warrior. So we're going to go ahead and send from my deck to the graveyard a copy of Beta, because we're going to go ahead and start stacking in the graveyard our different Magnet Warrior monsters. So you're going to have to shuffle the deck up again just to see what we can pull off for some more plays, because you want to reveal a copy of, say, Alpha now, so you can get into some even better plays, because once you reveal that copy of Alpha, you're basically going to be able to search a copy of one of your other cards. So it's going to help you out a lot to be able to reveal it, but we do play 3 copies of it, so you have a lot of ways to actually get to that card. So now that we actually are shuffling up the deck, but you also have Magnet Induction, so if you control a Magnet Warrior, you're going to get it anyways. So pretty much as long as you reveal either a Delta, or not a Delta, a copy of our Gamma or our Alpha, we should be fine. Or Beta, any of them. If you reveal any of them, you should be okay. So we're going to go ahead and start revealing, and we get an Alpha. Are you kidding me? We're going to get an alpha right off the bat. We're going to get a copy of Analyzer. Now, this is with Seeker's effect. We're actually going to put these on top so we know that their effects have been used. We're going to get a copy of Adamancipator Sign, Researcher, and a copy of Gamma. So this is great. We had 7 of them in deck, so we had plenty of ways to actually get to them. So we're going to actually grab the copy of Alpha here because it's going to give us a lot of different plays. Now, keep in mind, this is what you're putting back on the bottom of the deck, which is 2 of your tuner monsters and a copy of Gamma. So we're going to put these back on the bottom of the deck, but it's not going to matter for very long because you have the copy of the Magnet Induction and you have the effect of the Alpha to go off. So we're going to use the copy of Alpha. When it's summoned to your side of the field, you're going to be able to search the copy of Berserkion to your hand, which is going to help you out a lot to be able to grab that copy of Berserkion to your hand because when it's summoned, it just immediately grabs it. Now we're going to use the copy of Magnet Induction to get us another monster on the field. We're actually going to special summon out to our side of the field a copy of our Beta. Beta is going to help us out a lot because it's going to thin the deck to be able to get out the cards from our deck, which is just going to help us out a lot. And then you can use the copy of Beta, and now we've used our copy of our Alpha, Beta, and Delta, but we haven't used Gamma. So we're actually going to use the copy of our Gamma, or we're going to use a copy of Beta to search a copy of Alpha now. Because basically you're just trying to get as many different names as possible, because when you start link summoning, you're going to want to have those names. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up now, and we're going to go ahead, and now that we've used all of our cards on our side of the field to be able to excavate, we've actually gone like +4, I believe, because we started out with 5 cards and we got 4 extra cards. We've gone +4 off of our Adamancipator. So this deck was really crazy when we had Block Dragon, but it's still a very much a force to be reckoned with. So now we're going to go ahead and start link summoning. So you kind of got to look at your field and go, wait, what do I want to use? What do I want to link summon with? What do I want to synchro summon? So we're going to go ahead and link these 2 monsters away on our side of the field because you're going to want to get these in the graveyard so you can summon out your copy of your Valkyrian. So we're going to go ahead and link these 2 away, and we're going to summon out a copy of our Anaconda. Anaconda is going to help us out a lot because summoning this copy of Anaconda is going to be pivotal later, not now. We're not going to summon Dragoons. We're actually going to use it to summon our Conductive Battle Bot. So now that we've linked those 2 away, we're actually going to go for a Synchro Summon, and we're going to Synchro away our copy of our Delta and our copy of our Seeker. Now, once we use these 2 together, we're actually going to summon out our copy of our Raptite, which is going to help us out a lot because the Raptite is actually going to be able to mill or excavate more cards. Now that we've used this, we've actually got in the graveyard a copy of our Delta, a copy of Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, or another copy of Beta. So you can actually use the copy of Delta when it touches the graveyard that has the ability that you can banish 3 level 4 lower Magnet Warrior monsters from your graveyard except Delta the Magnet Warrior, and then special summon a Valkyrian, the Magnet Warrior, from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning condition. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. It doesn't matter that they're the same name, it just matters as long as you have 3 of them. So we're going to go ahead and banish all 3 of these from the graveyard, and we're going to summon out our copy of our Valkyrian. Valkyrian is going to help us out a lot to be able to get into additional plays in the deck, and it also makes it so we don't reveal that card. So now that we've got that on the field, you can actually use the copy of our Raptite, and if we hit, say, a copy of like Researcher would probably be the best card that you could actually hit, because if you hit that Researcher, you're going to get better plays because you're going to be able to excavate more cards. But we have a lot less cards in the deck, and as you guys can see, we're just thinning the deck and keep thinning and thinning and thinning until finally we pretty much are just going to start revealing the exact cards that we want to reveal. So let's go ahead and cut that deck really quick, and as you guys can see, let's go ahead and count the cards that we don't have in the deck anymore. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 over here, we have 3 here, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we only have 28 cards left in that deck. So now that we start revealing, we're going to start going with an Adamancipator Sign. Hopefully we don't hit too many spells. A copy of Researcher, which is exactly what we wanted to hit. A copy of Gamma, a copy of Gamma, and a copy of the Magnetic Field. Now, you have 2 options here. I usually like to just go for the copy of Researcher because I know it's going to get me further. And the only reason we can actually do this is because the copy of Raptite has the ability that during the main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. And if you do, special summon 1 excavated rock monster in defense position. These monsters say, hey, you can't special summon anything, but that's a tuner monster. The copy of the Synchro doesn't care. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out the copy of the Researcher and put all these cards on the bottom of the deck. So at this point, we've used the copy of Raptite, and we've summoned out our copy of our Valkyrian, so we have a lot of different plays. Now, if we can hit a level 3, we're set. We can actually summon in the Tree Beast and the Superconductive Battlebot and really go in for some insane plays. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and use the copy of our Researcher to then look at the top of the deck, and we're going to go ahead and hit again. Hopefully we can hit a level 3. We've got a copy of Quackimera Supplier, Magnet Induction, Analyzer, Adamancipator Sign, and Moment of Truth. We hit a Seeker. So we didn't hit exactly what we needed, but it's okay, because we're actually just going to summon out the copy of the Supplier, and Supplier has a really unique effect that if a face-up rock monster you control is sent to the graveyard, then you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is special summoned, add from your deck to your hand one Iron Core Quackimera, or one card that specifically lists it. So we're going to go ahead and add from our deck to our hand a copy of Guardian, because we're just trying to get more cards in our hand. As you guys can see, we have gone like +6 now, which is just absolutely crazy. So at this point, you can actually go in for, if you'd like to, a Needle Fiber or a Dragite. It's totally up to you which one you want to go for, or you can actually go in for a Needle Fiber. It's kind of up to you which one you want to go for and which card you want to play. I usually like to go in for a copy of Needle Fiber here, because you can actually link these two away on your side of the field, or you can actually link away the copy of the Adamancipator Analyzer and summon it out to your side of the field. Or you can even, if you want to, link these two away, because it's going to give you even more plays to go into a Needle Fiber to get more monsters on the field and kind of clean up your board a little bit. Or you can summon out a copy of Barkion. You just have so many plays in this particular extra deck that it's just basically ridiculous, all the different plays. You can even summon out a copy of Gallant Granite using these two monsters as Izzy material, which is a really good play to just overlay these two on top of one another for a Gallant Granite. So then we're going to go ahead and detach this off of it to be able to search the deck for any rock monster that we want. It doesn't even matter. You can set it for next turn. You can search out a copy of your Researcher, because Researcher did not special summon itself. It was special summoned off the effect of the Raptite, so then you can actually special summon it, but we've used its effect now, which is just a really good play to grab another card from the deck to your hand, just to be able to go in for even more plays. Now we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and grab the copy of Researcher, because the Researcher is going to be the best play, and then we can actually special summon it to our side of the field because we control that many rock monsters. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out the Researcher, because keep in mind it was special summoned off the other monster, so it's totally fine to go in for that play. We just can't excavate because we've already used that effect. So at this point, you can go ahead, if you'd like to, and link these away and go in for another monster. Or you can actually link all of these away for an Appaloosa if you want to link all of these away for an Appaloosa, just to give you even more negations to have a Appaloosa that has that many negates. Or you can do this, which is my preferred play. We're going to go ahead and link these two monsters away on our side of the field and summon out the copy of the Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber's effect will go off, and it just has to take 2 monsters, including a tuner, which we had, and then we're going to special summon out from the deck a level 3 or lower tuner, which is going to be a copy of Seeker. Now this deck, as you guys can see, just does not run out of gas. It never runs out of gas. So we're going to use the copy of Seeker. We've already used a Seeker this turn, which Seeker says you can only use its effect once per turn, and Needle Fiber negates it, so we're going to go ahead and put that there. Now if you want to, you can climb into a copy of Appaloosa, which is going to be the best play. So I'm going to go ahead and link these away, and link away 1 and 2 and 3 right here, which are going to link all these away, which this is a link 2. We have this copy of the Seeker, which is counts as a link 1, and the copy of Gallant Granite, and we're going to link that away and summon out our copy of our Appaloosa to our side of the field. And then now we can go in for our final really big play, and this Appaloosa has 4 negates on it, by the way, because we used, actually 3 negates, excuse me. The Appaloosa will have 3 negates on it, and then we can use the copy of our Anaconda, because we've done every play we possibly could at this point. So we're going to go ahead and use its effect. So we're going to go ahead and use the copy of our Anaconda, and we're actually going to use the polymerization that's right on the top, and we're going to go ahead and fusion summon the copy of the Berserkion that's in my hand and the copy of the Valkyrian that's on the field, and summon out the copy of the Battlebot. So if you guys can see, we have a bunch of negates on the field. This hand can also end sometimes on a Naturia Beast if you play your cards right. I didn't have the copy of Naturia Beast with the setup that I had, with the reveals I had. If I would have revealed a level 3 off the copy of the Researcher, I could have summoned it, but I didn't. but the effect of the battle bot is a walking negation, and if your opponent outs this card, then you get to summon out the copy of the Valkyrian and Berserkion from the graveyard, ignoring their summoning conditions, giving you a 3,500 and a 3,000 attack point monster. And then once returned during the player's turn, when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, you negate the activation, you destroy that for free, which is really good. And the copy of Appaloosa gives you 3 monster negates as well, so you have 4 essential negates on the field. And then next turn, you also have the Quackimero Guardian, which is very good. If we draw into the next turn, we're going to draw into a sign, which is going to give us more cards. That's going to give us more plays. And basically at this point, you can just kind of keep going and keep going into more plays, because you can normal summon out both of these to your field, because this is going to special summon out the copy of the Alpha, and then the Alpha is going to search from the deck a copy of the Berserkion. If your opponent doesn't out this card, you're going to be able to search a copy of Berserkion from the deck, which is going to help us out even more, which is right on the top again. And we're going to go ahead and search that card out of the deck. I don't believe I have a beta in the graveyard, so I can't go in for the copy of the Berserkion currently, but it does give you the additional search to be able to go in for more plays. And we've literally clogged the field up to the point we can't go for more plays if we even wanted to, because we have so many cards on the field to then just go in. You can start linking if you want to, or go into a copy of the Gorgonic Guardian if you want to go in for that right here, which is going to be able to give you a little bit more push for the deck. And then you can also use the copy of the Adamancipator Sign, which is then going to be able to grab you a copy of Seeker from the graveyard. And then you can use stack the deck with any rock monster you want from the deck, which is just going to be able to take a rock monster that's level 4 or lower and place it on top of the deck. So we're going to place any card, it doesn't matter. We're going to put Researcher on the top of the deck, and then you can synchro summon these away if you want to for a copy of Dragite, which is then going to be able to board wipe your opponent, because you can use the copy of Dragite to reveal cards off the top of your deck to be able to then bounce cards equal to the number of rocks that we reveal. So we're going to be able to bounce a total of 5 cards off our opponent's side of the field, because we revealed all 5. And actually what's really cool, and I think I deserve a like for this, we actually had Seeker, Analyzer, and Researcher all in the same one. But it actually has the ability that during the main phase, you can excavate the top 5 of your deck. And if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls up to the number of excavated rock monsters, which was 5. So we have a bounce 5 as well, and a negation, which is just absolutely probably one of the best hands you could absolutely have. This is a really good field and a really insane hand, and I think this showcases exactly how powerful Adamancipator still is and how good this deck can still function, because you just made a Gorgonic Guardian going second turn, which is going to board wipe and deal with an opponent's monster. You have a battle bot that negates every single turn. You have an Appaloosa that can negate 3 times. We had the Adamancipator Dragite that once I get a water in the graveyard, which is going to happen because I play a water, I'm going to be able to then immediately negate spells and traps with that card. I have the copy of the Berserkion I can summon later, which is just going to give me additional pops with this card. And you have just so many crazy awesome plays. I can even just normal summon on the following turn a copy of Quackimero and give myself another card to be able to then go into plays. And if you actually were to draw into your copy of Magnetic Field, then any level 4 lower Earth Rock monster turns pretty much into a Grand Mole, which is kind of hilarious, because once we're turned at the end of the damage step, when a Earth Rock monster you control battled an opponent's monster that was not destroyed by battle, you return that opponent's monster to the hand. So it basically turns them all into pretty much turns them all into Grand Moles, which is hilarious. So I think that pretty much showcases the power level of this deck and how easy it is to combo off. And just to show you guys like how powerful Adamancipator is still as a deck, I love this deck. And out of all 3 of the decks that were released in that particular deck building set, I think it was Secret Slayers, between the Eldritch, the Golden Lord, Rika, and this was the one that I looked forward to the most out of them all. I ended up playing Eldritch the most, but this deck was the one that I saw and was like, oh, that deck is going to be really crazy because of the Excavating 5. And I'm going to show you guys some quick draw test hands just to show you guys how powerful of a hand you can actually pull off, because this deck is just crazy. Like, it's crazy good, it's crazy consistent, it can pull off some really good plays. As long as you don't draw into Valkyrian and Poly, you're usually fine, because you usually want to keep those in the deck. And the copy of the water card, you don't want to draw into that unless you have a copy of Seeker in the hand or a Researcher in the hand. You don't want to draw into that card because it can still get you into some plays, and it's super easy just to keep going in this deck, because even drawing into some really awesome plays in this deck, as long as you draw into like a copy copy of like Seeker or something like that, you're at least going to make a Naturia Beast, which is going to help you out a lot. Because even if you just normal summon this card out and then reveal like 5 off the top of the deck, which I will say the majority of the time you're going to want to pile shuffle, you can still hit this card and still go into a Needle Fiber and dig in the deck and keep going. Like, you still have some really, really good plays, which is what's really cool. Now, sometimes you will have moments like that hand that I just drew, where you will have moments that you will need to pile shuffle in between games, but you will have moments that you will not draw exactly what you need. But the ideal setup is to draw out a copy of a researcher and an analyzer, or an analyzer and a researcher, or a copy of your seeker and a researcher. Like, any 2 of your different names between your excavating cards is just what you absolutely have to be able to go in this deck, and it's what makes the deck function so well, which is what's really cool. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and do one more quick reveal test hand and show you guys what we can draw. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a researcher, which we're already fine, and this is the point I'm trying to show you guys. You need to pile shuffle a copy of Kwakimeru and Seeker. See, again, pile shuffle your decks, especially decks like this that are super combo heavy. I didn't pile shuffle for the second hand. I totally didn't have a good hand. It was a brick. Then this one is totally fine. You're going to be totally fine in this hand because you got Supplier and Guardian. This is fine. This is a great hand because you're going to be able to normal summon and then special summon this out to your field and then go off, because you're going to basically excavate 10 and excavate the top 3 off the top, which is a Berserkion, and we hit a copy of nothing on that one, which is going to happen sometimes in this deck. It's totally fine to hit nothing in this deck, but then the next one, you know you're going to hit something because you had so many cards that you revealed off of that you knew you'd have to hit something in the next one. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out this to our field, which is going to give us a search of that Berserkion that we revealed. And then you're basically just going to summon out a copy of Needle Fiber and then go off from there to then go into more plays. You have so many plays. You can even go into your copy of Naturia Beast with these 2. You can go into a copy of Needle Fiber using these 2. You just have so many plays. And when a rock monster is sent to the grave, you can special summon this, and you just can keep going and going and going with this deck. It never runs out of gas. Like, it just keeps going and going. So I think this one shows off exactly how powerful this deck is. It's a really fun deck to play around with. I'm really glad that Awalt suggested this deck because it's insane. It is probably one of the most insane decks I've played in a long time, with just how combo heavy it is and how much you just keep going and going and going in this deck. And it's a really fun deck. It reminds me a little bit of Pendulum Magicians, with how much the deck just keeps playing and playing and playing until finally you have this insanely crazy board and you're like, whoa, how did I get here? So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, and definitely give Awalt some love for suggesting this absolutely nuts deck, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys.